This is Adam Taxin talking with Daniel Greenfield about his Sunday, May 6th, 2012 column, Winning the War. Daniel, you say a lot there, and if there's a general point, it seems to be that Iraq and Afghanistan are basically obfuscations and that the real war is against Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states. Am I correct in that assessment?
Yes, you are. We have to go to the center. We have to look at where the manpower is coming from, where the ideology is coming from, and where the money is coming from. And that's Saudi Arabia, it's the United Arab Emirates, it's Kuwait, it's the Gulf Arab states.
And do you think there's any realistic possibility that there will be any action against them, or do they basically own us by now and it's futile and this is just a distraction which actually benefits Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states, what we've been doing in Iraq and Afghanistan?
In the long run, we're going to have to confront them sooner or later. In the short run, they've got a very tight grip on our foreign policy, on our political establishment, and on our commercial establishment. So any short-term action would require a fairly major change in government on our end.
How does our current policy reflect the lack of lessons learned from Korea and Vietnam?
We're still playing the same game in Korea and Vietnam. We were dealing with proxy enemies funded by the larger communist states, especially the Soviet Union, and they sent weapons and money and propped up their dictatorships, their communist insurgencies, and we sent in troops to fight them. We bled, they didn't. And the same thing has been happening again and again. Where we're fighting in Afghanistan, we're fighting in Iraq, we're not fighting the actual enemy who's in Saudi Arabia. Instead, we're allowing ourselves to be dragged into proxy wars, conflicts to win the hearts and minds, stabilize the region, all that same old nonsense all over again.
So we've really lost sight of the elementary purpose of war, which you discuss in there.
The core purpose of war is to defeat the enemy, to destroy the heart of the enemy, and that doesn't mean stabilizing outlying regions like Afghanistan. It means taking the war to the enemy. If we were fighting World War II the way we were fighting this war, then we'd be spending all our time trying to stabilize Hungary, for example, or China.
How does Syria, which is in the news off and on a lot lately, how does Syria fit in to this discussion?
Syria is old line. It's the old line Arabists, the Arab socialists, and the people, the rebels, the people pushing for an overthrow are basically the Muslim Brotherhood who want to take over and fuse together Egypt and Syria, recreate a fledgling caliphate. That's the agenda there. We're obviously doing the same thing that we did in Egypt and Libya, which is the same bogus human rights, stop atrocities crusade that empowers the Muslim Brotherhood and then brings the caliphate closer.
Final question. You did mention in the article sort of a glass half full argument that there is some value in what we've accomplished in Iraq and Afghanistan and the message that has been sent in terms of chaos.
The battle plan and an engagement doesn't survive first contact with the enemy, which is war is essentially chaos. It's managed chaos. You don't know necessarily what's going to happen next once you fire the first shot and then the enemy fires the second shot. And there's an increase in chaos throughout these engagements. So the enemy had one objective when they attacked us, but we created a certain amount of unpredictable chaos with our response, which created a certain amount of unpredictable chaos. And much of the damage has been done on their end. We've destabilized them far more than they've destabilized us.
I've been talking with Daniel Greenfield, a.k.a. Sultan Knish, about his Sunday, May 6th, 2012 column, Winning the War, and Daniel Greenfield's columns can be found in general at sultanknish.blogspot.com. Daniel, thanks for talking to me tonight.
Same here.